Hello, fabulous fourth graders, and welcome to our additional practice for 8.5. All right, for numbers 1 through 6, you're going to write 3 fractions that match the description. Number 1 says fractions equal to 1/2. Now, that's a pretty easy benchmark fraction. You should be able to pick any denominator and do half of it. Okay, now, for example, I'm going to give you 1, all right? We could do 2/4. That is equivalent to 1/2, okay? Then you need to give me 2 more. Number 2, you were using fractions less than 1/2. So what I would do, I would use all my fractions over here that are equal to 1/2, and then just think, if I have 2/4 is exactly equal to 1/2, what fourth would be less than that? So 1/4 would be less than 2/4. If 2/4 equals 1/2, 1/4 would be less than that. So whatever other two fractions you came up with, find fractions that are less than that. Work smarter, not harder. All right, for number 3, fractions greater than 1. This one should also be easy because if it's a whole number, that means the fraction, the denominator, and the numerator are the same number, okay, to equal 1 whole. Now we need one that is greater than 1 whole. So your numerator should be greater than your denominator. All right, for number 4, fractions closer to 1 than to 0. So if we're thinking about fractions on a number line, all right, think which fraction would be closer to 1 whole than it would be to 0. I need 3 of them. Number 5, fractions closer to 0 than to 1. So on this one, then, you're going to think about a number line and think of the fractions that would be closer to 0 than 1 whole. All right, number 6, fractions greater than 1/2. So if you want to use your fractions up here, again, working smarter, not harder, okay? If 2/4 is equivalent to 1/2, let's find something greater than 1/2. All right, well, if 2/4 is equal, 3/4 would be greater. Then think about the other 2 fractions that you used. All right. Sorry, friends. All right. For 7 through 18, you're going to compare using benchmark fractions, 0 or 1. Then write greater than, less than, or equal to. Now, you can think which one is closer to 0, which one's closer to 1, and then use yours. Or if you are someone that likes to cross multiply, okay? 4 times 2 is 8. 10 times 3 is 30. So 3/4 would be greater than 2/10, okay? Do that for all of these ones. All right, on the back, write 3 fractions that are greater than 1/2, but less than 1 whole. Once again, 3 fractions. You should have 3 fractions here, okay? All right, number 20. Mary lives 6/10 miles from school. Thad lives 9/8 miles from school. Mary says Thad lives further from school. Is she correct? Explain. So, first thing you're going to do is compare 6/10 to 9/8. See which one, Mary or Thad, is further away from school. If Thad is further away from school, you're going to say that Mary was correct. If Mary is further away from school, you will say that Mary is incorrect. Number 21. Mr. Perez is mixing paint for his art class. How many 6-ounce bottles can he fill with the quantities of paint shown at the right? Explain. Okay, so over here we have paint. He has 64 ounces of blue, 12 ounces of yellow, and 32 ounces of white. We need to figure out how many 6-ounce bottles he can fill with these. So you're going to take your total, divide it by 6 ounces, and see how many it would be. So you're going to need 3 separate answers, okay? Number 22. Ariana used benchmark fractions to describe some insects she collected. She said the ladybug is about 1/4 inch long and the cricket is about 1/2 inch long. Which insect is longer? So compare the fractions and then tell me which insect is longer. Austin said, I know 1/4 is less than 1/2, so that means 3/12 is less than 1/2. Does Austin's reasoning make sense? Explain. So think about what Austin is saying here. He's saying that 1/4 is less than 1/2, so 3/12 is less than 1/2. How can you prove whether Austin is correct or incorrect? Last one, number 24. Kaio and Kendrick are tiling the floors in an office building. Kaio tiled 3/6 of the floor in one office, and Kendrick tiled 5/12 of the floor in another office. Write to explain how to use a benchmark fraction to determine who tiled a greater portion of the floor. So I'm going to give you a hint here. Use our benchmark fraction of 1/2. Okay? What would 1/2 equivalent be to in 6th? And what would 1/2 be equivalent to in 12ths? Once you compare that, then you'll be able to tell me who tiled more.